Welcome back to another video, everyone. My name's Phoebe. If you're new, welcome. I've actually got a new microphone. I'm not holding up my little fuzzy thing, so I'm hands-free on my nice DSLR. I've been meaning to get a nice, boom catches audio microphone for a while. I think it might pick up a bit more than has been felt in the past, but please bear with as I sort of figure out the best settings and stuff for it. But gives me a bit more freedom. Hope you're doing okay. I'm really pooped. I've had like a really busy few weeks with mainly wonderful things happening, but just a bit back to back, like the Frankie magazine thing, Big Mouth being printed, sending them all out. At time of filming, there are some copies at Beaumaris Bookshop and Brunswick Bound in Brunswick. So if you miss out on a hard copy and you would like, Brunswick Bound do ship Australia wide, so that's another option. Otherwise, the PDF version is forever available. A TikTok video I did about the cookbook, sort of in a style that, like, I don't know, is kind of going around on TikTok, where you say like a question, have you ever wanted blah blah, and then you introduce yourself and then you explain the thing. Maybe the algorithm like values it or something. That went off, and then like it's been the first video on TikTok where like the algorithm has worked in my favor. Point being, a lot of people who Big Mouth is appropriate for, that video found. But that was sort of just as I had sold out of copies, so I would have printed more in the first run, maybe timed that better, or I don't know, I was a bit braver. It's just ever frustrating. I think I'll just back my ability for self-promotion, I guess, to pay off is the lesson learnt, and I guess seeing how people respond to pre-orders, and that you get the most orders just before the closing date of your pre-order thing, so keeping that in mind for next time. I was also nannying over the weekend, like a sleepover thing while the parents went away, which I didn't realise knocked me out so much. I didn't sleep that well. Last week I had this very cool opportunity happen, which I mentioned in the newsletter, to do with the ABC. Very low key, but like a foot in the door thing, and yeah, when it eventuates, hopefully pretty soon, I will talk about it a bit more. But it was quite stressful, like back and forth, not really sure if it was going to happen. It involved me filming something, but yeah, it was just in a slightly different way and needed to happen quite quickly, so it took a bit out of me. Point being, it's now Tuesday. It was very cute. Merlin had a bit of diarrhea yesterday and I don't think he was feeling too great, so I took a nap on the couch, and if you try to sleep, because we sleep upstairs, Merlin doesn't really see us sleeping. He kind of is a bit like, are you okay? I'm just going to sit here and like nuzzle at you and paw you until you like look fine. But yeah, maybe because he wasn't feeling great and I was really determined to have a nap, I like spoke to him in reassuring tones, reassured him I was fine, and encouraged him to go on his bed. And then he just napped next to me. It was very sweet, napping with your dog. I mean, if you sleep in the same bed, then you would know. It's like a friendship badge unlocked. This morning I've gently started doing more micro bakery prep. There's a lot of it relating to council logistics, which I need to be asking questions, and I intend to do that this week, but like even just prepping for that, I feel like I don't even know what I'm talking about. It's probably a case where I really do, I just don't feel permission to, and I was like very scared to break the law. But I'm going to pivot to a bit of social media stuff now, and then I'm getting a haircut this afternoon. Woohoo! Which, as you might be able to tell, the fringe situation is just, I can't even get away with it. And I love my fringe. I actually like, who was she when she showed her forehead so much? That wasn't necessary. Foreheads are lovely, but I love my curls. And if there's a curtain of curls, like from the front on view, that's a good situation. But the focus of this video is kind of to get back into healthy habits and a good routine. Just take care of myself a bit more, because I was really just pushing it and really enjoying fruits of my labour. But I think she also needs some deep rest. They're good. See ya. That was a great morning of cooking, and the tweaks that I need to make are like mostly oven related, and that's great because the base is very solid. Yeah, so much nostalgia. I don't think I've had a cheesy mite scroll or a sausage roll for 4+ years, so yay for those successes. I'm really happy with my haircut. It doesn't really look how I guess I wear it. It's a bit more fluffy because they wash it there, and if my hair air dries it gets very fluffy, feeling very 80s, but I went with the shallot. It's like a shag / mullet. It's more of a mullet but takes elements of the shag, so it's less severe. It doesn't probably look that different because it's kind of how I would wear it with the previous haircut, tucked behind my ears, but you took off a lot of texture like in this bit, so when it's just sitting flat without any of this or like zhuzhing, yeah, it looks like that, which is very convenient. Also, when I'm like leaning down cooking, you know, nothing's like falling forward. I'm nanning a bit this evening. I think I might just sit down and start reading Kitty and Al Tate's Bread Song. Kitty's from a small town outside of Oxford, started a micro bakery when she couldn't go to school because of severe depression, but she's a very cool person. Also, my record lately of sitting down and reading physical books is not really happening. I've just been doing audiobooks on dog walks, but very keen to pick up that practice again. No regrets. Oh my gosh, it's so good. Just like buying it to read the front bit. You know, when you read a story or you consume something, or I don't know, put yourself in a world that feels so you, it hurts a little bit. Yeah. We now have a soy yogurt back in a major supermarket. That's a big win. I'm gonna film like a little taste testy thing, which I'll put on my TikTok and Insta. Hey ho, it's Friday. Yesterday was a bit of a, not a write-off, but like, I just took a nap in the morning and then read my book in the afternoon. I really crashed and was not feeling that great, so. But I'm feeling well myself today. Also, like, having washed my hair and like done what I usually do to my hair, loving the haircut even more. Look at this curl. Like, that's what my hair does when it's really short. I guess as I get like more off, makes me just want to get more off like next time. I know that that's kind of a common experience with people who like go for a shorter haircut. Once you dip your toe in the water, you totally see that having less hair is actually kind of brilliant. The book I read, and yes, it's a book because literally half of it is just written like a memoir, is Bread Song, the cookbook. It's so good. It's so up my street. Half of it is recipes, half of it is their stories, and they take turns sort of telling chapters. They're both really honest. Like, it was kind of shocking because like there's really no stigma in how they write about it, and reading about like it from Kitty's parents or her father's perspective when she went downhill really fast with depression, because if you didn't know, Kitty is like 17 or 18 now, and when she was 14 she got debilitating depression and anxiety, couldn't really leave the house or go to school, and after trying lots of different things, it was baking, particularly sourdough, that showed her that there was a future she could see herself in. And from delivering loaves to their neighbours, to doing pop-ups, to having micro bakery, now that I think they're open like 5 days a week. And her dad, who was a teacher, I think there's like different accounts, like he gave up his job for her. Not quite, like he was in sort of a point of transition in his life, and baking does bring him a lot of joy, so it's not like quite the dramatic sacrifice that some accounts have portrayed. Yeah, it's very moving, but like also quite maybe confronting in that not everyone is so lucky. Her family isn't the perfect family by any stretch, but like so lucky that her family, like she was met with so much compassion when her mental health went so downhill. It's a very emotional read and I highly recommend, and I'm so glad I bought it, and that's coming from someone who can't quite make any of the recipes because of the gluten element, but I'm still going to learn from them, and I really like her advice on sourdough starters, and hopefully that will help me along the way, because just when I think like, oh yeah, my sourdough starter's like solid, then it dies on me. So the journey is still ongoing there, but it's very reassuring because they had like a million fails as well trying to get to understanding sourdough, and the way she describes it is very sort of less textbooky. She's more of an intuitive baker, and I don't know, it just sort of speaks my language. Hopefully that'll help me. I have a psych appointment now. I might pop to the op shop after that, and hopefully if the weather's still nice and fine and sunny, I might pop out for a mini bike ride this afternoon to blow some fresh life into me. Chuffed with this vest. It's so special. I did have like a vision to like a certain type of like hippie felted clothing that's available at market that actually isn't that special, so I don't know if it's that, but I hope not. I mean, it's made in England. Try not to overthink it. I like it. I'm gonna have an early night. I wanted to mention on YouTube though that the support me section, which is my Patreon equivalent, but instead of the chunk of your money going to Patreon instead of me, this is a much more direct way which I've been looking forward to implement when I have a new website. And now I do, and my brother has implemented it beautifully. It's very easy to use. So if you are a beautiful patron, I've sent you an email, but just to mention to you guys on here, because I don't really make money from sponsorships or much ad revenue, so that leaves other streams like cookbooks, but also Patreon has been a great way for me to generate a regular monthly income. It's set up similar to Patreon in that the tiers are very affordable, and it really operates on the, you know, no amount is too little, every little bit counts, and actually generates this monthly reliable source of income that can go towards developing recipes, making videos, keeping bigger projects like cookbooks on the go, pressing towards micro bakery goals, and making more cool videos like But Vegans. But we also decided to implement like a tip jar, which is like a one-off thing. It's not a monthly pledge, and I put like little reminders to that on the bottom of every recipe and the bottom of my newsletter, and I will start putting it in the description box of videos, so it's like if you see value in my work, or it brings you a slice of escapism in challenging times, or, you know, my lentil sausage roll recipe has been like a weekly favourite for you for a few years, then it is there as an option for those that is a financial possibility for. So there's the tip any amount and the monthly pledge, and the details of that will be in the description box below, but it's always there on my website under the support me section in the top right hand corner. With the vibe of this video being rest, I wanted to say like rest always isn't linear. Our need for rest isn't linear. Life isn't linear. I think I've been a bit envious or something as well, I will say, after reading Bread's song, in that it is presented somewhat in a linear, you know, are in a bad place, Bread gets her out of the bad place type of story arc. And, you know, mental health isn't like that for most of us, and that's not to say that's Kitty's story, but it is like a neat sort of way to paint their experience in a cookbook or in an article about their story. And while she does acknowledge that she still does experience depression, it's more her coping mechanisms are so in flow, and that they help buoy her along. You know, for most people, they haven't had some capitalist aligned venture that they can make their lifestyle, which can simultaneously aid their mental health. so much so that they can live a very full life. Yeah, I had a bit of a thick psych session, and I've been thinking about that a lot. Some people, whatever mental health stuff they've got going on, maybe eldest daughter vibes as well, those who are used to doing and putting others' needs before their own, rest isn't like easy. You can do it and trick your mind into being like, well, I need to do this for my body, but your mind sometimes isn't in sync with your body, and it can find rest really difficult. I think I find it even more difficult in the cooler months because I find my mind and body are more together when it's warm and I'm outside more, feeling the sun on my skin, riding my bike more. We're just sort of more together. Then, yeah, winter has the like dissociate from your body vibe, and it's quite hard. I hope you're doing okay, and this video was somewhat of a tonic or just nice to have on the background. Lots of love. Thank you for watching. I'll see you super soon in the next video.